Okay. Right. Hello. Happy early Saturday morning. Some of y'all are in other time zones, though, so it's still evening time for you. Good evening to you guys. It is Tarot Queen Jamila, aka High Priestess Jamila. If you are new to the channel or if you've been here, you are aware that I do tarot cards, but I also am a spiritual practitioner. Okay, so I consider myself to be an alchemist and a healer. And the one thing that I discovered in 2015 was my Kundalini. And I actually began to have a Kundalini awakening back in 2015. And so what your Kundalini is, let's start talking about what Kundalini is. What is that? Well, Kundalini, it's located at the base of your spine. I believe that it's also your root chakra, but your Kundalini is your, it's energy. Okay. It's your energy. It's the life force that runs through your body. It's what keeps everything running, everything, operated and activated, and it also affects your brain. So if you are doing anything, or if anyone else is doing anything to mess with your root chakra or your Kundalini, or to oppress your Kundalini and or your sexual energy, then that person is in fact trying to cut you off from your life. Any kind of oppression, that person is trying to also cause you to not rise in your consciousness, and to also to stop you from having an awakening. And this is actually very dangerous because, but it's going to depend on your willpower and your strength. So let's talk about the root chakra. Your root chakra is very important because this is the first chakra that develops, okay? And so this is largely connected to your childhood and your parents and what they did, okay? So, for example, if you are a person that was not taught, okay, survival from your parents, then you're going to have a hard time surviving. You're going to have a hard time branching off. So that's why the tarot is science, spirit, and a lot of other information mixed in. I love the tarot. So when I think about root chakra growth, there's certain cards in the tarot that you're going to want to look for. So a signification of growth would be the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a representation of branching off, okay, and kind of doing your own growth and expansion as a person, as a person that's being and existing on this, this earthly plane. So the root chakra is very important. And, I got to tell you that if you are someone that doesn't protect your Kundalini energy or your root chakra, okay, you have to do that, because people will try to steal it. It's your mojo, your spine, what's at the base of your spine, that energy is very important. Okay. Now, there's a lot of different symptoms of when you are having a Kundalini awakening, and I'm not going to really get into those because they vary from person to person. And some of the symptoms that you're going to get when you're going through root chakra awakening and Kundalini, root chakra growth and Kundalini awakening is going to be back pain. Okay, you may experience back pain. You may have have tingling in your legs. Okay. You may have, you may have times to where maybe you might become really, really, fixated on sex. And then sometimes you won't want to think about sex at all. It just grosses you out. So those are the extremes. And there's so many different symptoms of root chakra growth and Kundalini rising. Now, the one thing that I've noticed is that we've got way too many people trying to interfere with people's spiritual growth. Again, I think that people that do this, I think that they are in for a rude awakening. I think this is really, really highly and largely frowned upon spiritually, especially when it comes to relationships, when it comes to interfering with relationships. This is something that people in the spiritual community love to do. Oh, I'm going to get a breakup candle. I'm going to go buy a snake candle and I'm going to go do this. Well, guess what? What about when that person reverses that energy back to you? What do you think is going to happen? You see what I'm saying? So, especially when it wasn't your place to step in and interfere. Oh, I'm just going to randomly. Don't ever do work on folks that don't ask for it. Don't ever do it. We've got some people that love to go and visit botanical shops here on YouTube, and they like to light candles to try to control other people's lives. And all it does is backfire and create BS in their own lives. So, all of that is a part of a Kundalini awakening. It is not to be interfered with, and you can always tell when something is being tampered with or interfered with. And see, the average Joe is not going to know that you are messing with their energy. But somebody like me, oh yeah, I know when you're messing with my energy, especially when you got a bunch of people talking about your lower chakra, which is your root chakra. And see, that's something to where you have to do alchemy, okay? Because there's a lot of people that they don't understand Kundalini. They're literal. I know for a fact that we've got a lot of empty seaters, and what these people are there, they're strictly there as a vessel, to be a catalyst between you and a demon or a demonic entity or something that needs to feed off of your life force. So that's what Kundalini is. It's your life force. It's very weird and strange when, you know, that's all people can sit around and talk about is your life force. That, you know, that should give you a clue as to what is happening in this world. How many people do you know that just sits around and just, you know, especially when it comes to somebody that's not all that famous, hundreds of thousands of, not thousands, but, you know, hundreds of people feeding off of this one person in several different ways ought to tell you that person's life force is very strong. Some people have a never-ending battery. Okay, I think most people do. I think, well, you know what? To be honest with you, it just depends. Regeneration is something that I do all the time. It's a process that I have a very deep level of understanding for when it comes to the reality on this plane of existence, aka planet. Okay, so so when it comes to your Kundalini energy, and when it comes to your security and your ability to survive, okay, this is where Kundalini becomes very important. Because you ever heard of somebody trying to steal somebody's mojo? Well, there it is. When you see people talking about somebody, they're trying to steal that person's mojo. It's a constant thing, and it'll make you can tell that they're doing it because and see, with me, I'm a very good empath. So you can tell when an insecure person feels the need to use whatever they can to try to make you feel insecure. And they're so desperate that you know, it's the most ridiculous thing. Ha ha ha, you had a period. Ha ha ha, you have you know, you belched. Ha ha ha, you know, so they use whatever they can to try to bring out that insecurity, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. So when your Kundalini is being properly distributed to your brain as it's supposed to, then you still have that faith and that trust and that connection. See what happens when you don't? Let me tell you what happens when people try to oppress your Kundalini. They are trying to mess up your connection with what is above. Because when you do that, when somebody's Kundalini, when your root chakra is off, your crown chakra is going to be off, because your Kundalini is not sending enough energy directly to your brain. That's why you start to feel scattered. How do we know that interdimensional beings are feeding on us? You start to feel scattered. You might feel tired. You know, you may feel afraid. You may feel like, you know, oh my God, things will be out of sorts. Things won't go the correct way. Okay. But see, that's why you got to have your spirits. And see, when I got up this morning, the first thing I did was I prayed to and I honored Aphrodite, which is the goddess of love and war. So I tend to do things a little bit easier for myself when it comes to this spiritual thing that, you guys notice that there's a lot of people that will sabotage. They'll try to sabotage you, but also sabotage themselves in the process. Okay. And the way that they try to do sabotage is by trying to make you feel insecure. Okay. Oh, you have no supporters. Well, what are you talking about? I just, took on 5 new clients this week. So why would I feel insecure? So a lot of the people that I deal with out here on YouTube, these people have absolutely no Kundalini growth at all. They have none. They have none. This is why they cannot get out of the computer. I'm going to tell y'all right now, a lot of y'all folks that are stuck on this computer and stuck on YouTube a lot, y'all need to get off of it. Okay? And it ain't you guys that are watching, because you guys are learning something. But some of these people that are on here, they're afraid of everything. They're afraid of starting over. They're afraid of having a new relationship. They're afraid to meet people. Okay, so there's a lot of fear that's happening. And fear is the worst thing for your Kundalini. Sex is good for your Kundalini. This is why a lot of people run around here crying and saying, oh, so-and-so used me for sex. Well, you use them too, so quit playing victim. Stop with the victimhood. What's up with us always constantly trying to victimize women all the time too? You know, especially when it comes to sex, a lot of y'all think, oh, well, you know, you're born, you go to high school, you meet your high school sweetheart, you're with that person forever, and then that's the end. And we know that that's not how life always works. We know that, right? So, you know, there's a lot of people that are off balance in that context because they, you know, they don't forgive themselves. They allow people to do certain things. And so, yeah, I've seen them at work. They will go through great lengths. That's, for example, let me just tell y'all this. My supporters don't come through YouTube. Like my supporters are not in my chat room. My clients are not in my chat room. This is a video sharing site that provides my website with very excellent ranking on Google. So whatever somebody is going through personally on here has nothing to do with me or my business or what I do. I'm normal. I have a normal life just like any other woman. I'm not supposed to just be sitting here just, you know, rotting to death. No, that's not, no. So, you know, you got a lot of people that are doing exactly that, and they're afraid. And when you're not afraid to live life, you know, these people, you know, they're straight on the attack. And, you know, I don't, you know, that's the same thing with me. I've met up with one person on YouTube, but I don't have what is called YouTube friends. I don't know what that is. I'll see people often going around on here saying that. And it's like, no, I came here to share my story and for business purposes. I didn't come here to make friends with people in a chat room or to make it look like I have supporters. That's what all that is about. You know, we got a lot of people on here that got their family members in the chat room. They got family members. You know, they got folks cheering them on. But all of my support happens behind the scenes. Okay? All of it. You know, whenever you see me on here, even when people are talking crazy, I done had folks come on here and attack me all at the same time. Everybody doing some kind of live stream about me. Da 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 da. At the end of the day, I am an alchemist. All of that is going to go to tarotqueenjamila.thedivinemommy.com. So I don't have any worries about that. If you want to know where that comes from, it comes from the fact that I healed my root chakra. And there's certain yoga moves, because somebody was asking me, well, you know, what is as far as like with your journey? I'm leaning more towards Hinduism and Shaivism. So Shiva is the god of he's a healer. Shiva is a very powerful healer. Shiva can heal you just by talking through me, you know. So Shiva is the god of yoga and meditation. So it, you know, a lot of those processes that you're having, a lot of the the issues and the problems. It is coming from your damaged root chakra, which is probably coming from some kind of family hex. Most of the people that come to me, most of my clients that come to me, they come to me hex. So there will never be a point in time where any of you can say anything or that can do anything that's going to stop the flow of energy over here, because of the fact that I live by the principle of fearlessness. I don't even know what that is. Failure is not even a word that we use in this house ever. There are certain words that are not allowed to be used in my house, and failure is one of them. So a lot of you have spells that are on you. You're under a spell right now. Most of the people that, you know what I've noticed that there is a practitioner. This person is someone in my family. It's not somebody that's online. It's somebody that's in the family. And they cast out certain things. And if, you know, I see that she has a relationship. I want to stop her. Oh, I see that she's doing that. This and that. Oh, we must stop her. Because that is the curse, or it was the curse, that comes from your familials and the background. And those are the people that are doing the worst to you. Okay. And the reason why is because it's not that look, the whole point of it is to do what? Their whole agenda is to stop your awakening. Because when your Kundalini energy hits your brain, you're on fire. That's it. When your Kundalini rises and it goes straight to the top of your dome, to your crown chakra, that is it. There's no going back. And that's your third eye opening. When your Kundalini opens, that's your third eye as well. And what it does is it dissipates that energy to your body, your heart chakra, your throat chakra. So that's why for a little while you might feel, you know, these weird kind of like, you know, heart like thuds. It's not a palpitation or a pain. It's a thud sometimes. Or you may feel certain things being activated in your body. Okay, those things are very important because this is your survival. You've been taught the opposite of survival. The fact that your family members are trying to kill you, what does that tell you? And y'all know what they're trying to kill you through. They're trying to kill you through, you know, processes of stress and anger and aggravation and trauma. Okay. Oh, Mystic Greek, root chakra work is some of the best. You can work on your root chakra with doing something as simple as meditating with a red candle, wearing red underwear, drinking red wine. Okay, not too much of it though, but red wine, and I'm not talking about the sweet stuff. I'm talking about the real wine that's not sweet. All that is just filled with a bunch of sugar. Okay. The real wine that's good for your heart, and you know that is going to be the, you know, the non-sugary, the dry, you know. Other ways of doing it is definitely going to be removing any root chakra hexes, which are entities, spirits, and ghosts or demons that are feeding off of your root chakra. This is why they feed off of the root chakra, because that's where your Kundalini is. Okay, so if you have something, for example, I have a there, you know when it's something, there's a lot of different ways. You know, everything that you do that goes into your lifestyle, you know, masturbation, orgasm, you know, meeting your twin flame can activate your Kundalini. Meditation is going to be, so it depends on, I feel like it's an individual thing though. But where you could start Mystic Greek is through spiritual baths, and you may want to put a little bit of cinnamon in it. Then also drinking cinnamon, like in your tea every day, drinking cinnamon will definitely, so yeah, there's a lot of people, and people feed off of your sexual energy. So, you know, you have to be able to protect it, and you can't just let people do that to you. I've been preaching this to men and women. I've seen men do it. They'll just sit around and be lazy, and they'll allow a bunch of men to feed off of their root chakra, their woman's root chakra. And, you know, when a person is trying to steal your spiritual energy, you must protect it and take it back. I don't care who your lover is. I don't care if your lover, if you've got 5 or 6 different loves, you need to protect all of them. You need to protect your sexual energy. So when people start to get lazy, that's why I said you got to be careful out here. Okay, because some people don't understand what that is. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Kedrin. Hello. So, you know, root chakra healing, you know, it can be difficult, but it can be done. Sometimes it can take years. It depends on what your circumstance and your situation is. I'm here to tell you that your narcissistic families, the ones that told you to not trust anybody on the outside, they were kind of doing you dirty at that moment. Because I've seen a lot of people, especially the people that have ran into me. Okay? Especially the people that have ran into me, that have been lied to and said, oh, don't mess with this person because of blah, 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 blah. However, that is a ploy done very often by people. And, you know, I've seen that happen. So your narcissistic family, you know, they've done that. They have. But you've got to learn how to break the mold, break out of that mold that they set for you. So a lot of you is where that starts. And it's because people don't know. It's because they are unaware spiritually. Okay. You know, being unaware spiritually is very dangerous. So those of you that grew up with, like I said, those of you that grew up in a certain type of way. For example, if you were a Christian or a Jehovah's Witness, oh, you can't talk to anybody unless they're a Jehovah's Witness. Oh, you can't do this unless so and so and so. So they set limitations for your life that a lot of you didn't appreciate. That is a part of your Kundalini as well. And when you can actually go out and branch out and make it, that's something that they want to prevent. Why, I don't know. I have no idea why. The only reason why anybody would not want their offspring to survive is if that person is suicidal and they are cursed and they are under some kind of demonic mind control. Yeah, you have to break the mold. Doing that root chakra work is so important. I did it consistently, especially anytime that I may feel like insecure, you know, or feel that insecurity. But people project that insecurity onto you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not an insecure woman at all. I'm not. I mean, I can be. Every woman, especially when you're dating, sometimes insecurity can creep in there. But when you got a bunch of people throwing their insecurities at you, then, and a lot of people are insecure. A lot of people are insecure and they want to use anything and everything. And so, like I said, they're desperate. And so the biggest thing that they do to a lot of women is they shame you for having a reproductive system. They shame you for bringing babies into the world. So this is one ploy. When they see that they can't make you feel bad for that and shame you and feed off of you from that, then they move to the next thing. Okay. Then they move to the next thing. So it's to me, it's a blatant, you know, a cry for help from those people. They're not as secure as you are. Okay, they're very insecure. They don't love themselves. They hate what they have, you know. And the guys, I've actually seen women and men, but women can be affected by this. It's the women that are being affected. And that leads me to do a reading for somebody that I want to do a reading for. I think I'm going to come back and do a real quick reading on her live because there's a lot of people on YouTube that are concerned about her health. And I'll let you guys know whenever I come back. But and so just be on the lookout for any readings that I do, because when you take society and what they say to you so seriously, to the point where you have body image issues, to the point where you would starve yourself to death, that's an extreme demonic possession. And what it did is it sucked you dry. And I've seen it happen to people. So don't be sleep on the fluffy girls. I'd rather be kind of fluffy than somebody that's literally wasting away. So y'all got to understand and appreciate what you have and work with it. That's just like me. I appreciate what I have and I work with it. You know? Yeah, a lot of and women should never feel insecure. The problem is that there is a lot of insecurity, and insecurity does come from your root chakra. If your root chakra is off balance and your root chakra is not feeding the rest of your body, and it's like being oppressed and you're allowing people to do that to you, then you're not going to have anything energetically that's going to reach your solar plexus and your heart. So this is why a lot of people it's not balanced and it's not regulated. Everything that's happening in your body physically is coming from your brain telling it to do it. So you've been under attack for years. Kedron, you're probably what I call a targeted individual, which means that you're either one of two things. You're either a healer, and you may even be an indigo child, which is what that means is these children were born with special abilities. So you're probably somebody that was born with special abilities. And what they're doing is they are feeding off of you. And you know what? A lot of the times, the earth itself will feed off of people like us. But you've got to know how to recharge yourself. Yeah, my spirits on a regular basis, they pull, like I do like this. It's like an astral travel type of situation where they basically regenerate my spirits and they regenerate me. So this largely has something to do, and I do that myself. I take a lot of baths. So your spiritual baths are going to be pivotal. They're going to be pivotal in your Kundalini awakening and root chakra growth and healing. And then that way you don't have to be afraid, because see what I do, especially since I've been over here in the South, location is everything. So there's a lot of very, very afraid people over here in the South. And there's also a lot of poor Black people over here in the South too. Okay. And yeah, so, and the reason why, I actually have seen people, and I've been one of those people to where I was programmed. It was like a programming that programmed me against money, but then to not understand what my spiritual gifts were as well. So they kept that stuff from us. So that's why I'm here to educate. I tell people all the time, I wish I would have had me at your age, because I have 20s and 30-year-olds that come to me and their life is going to be better because of me. They're going to be freed and released from those demonic contracts, because that's what you have to do. You have to break a contract, and then a lot of times I have to negotiate. I have to negotiate with the spirits. Not even negotiate, but we have to, it's a process. So it's not just lighting a candle and saying, please help this person. Thank you very much. No, You know, when I'm doing a ritual, I'm actually making contact with your spirits. And I'm also making contact with the demonic entities that are feeding off of you. And I'm telling them to get on somewhere. So everybody doesn't have the ability or the power to scare off demons. I guess that's something that maybe I got from Jesus Christ. I have no idea. You know, they say that demons fear Jesus Christ, but they seem to always come back. Okay. So, you know, Jesus is there in case of an emergency. I personally feel that Jesus is AKA Archangel Raphael and Michael, like at the same time, but it's like a different, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a manifestation of that. You know, all of us are part of that same spiritual body. Okay, it's not about, you know, whether or not somebody had a child out of wedlock or practiced witchcraft. It's about being a part of that spiritual body. Okay, when, you know, especially when you've been, you know, when they say you've been touched by an angel, angels are and will always be very powerful because you can't see them. That's why. Okay, you don't ever see an angel coming. You don't. And when you're dealing with an angel, in which, you know, I am an incarnated angel. You know, I'm not in an angelic form. I can't be in my angelic form in a physical body. So that's something that I have to, you know, that's something that's happening spiritually in the spirit realm. But, you know, other than that, you know, and so, you know, I feel like I'm also an angel of mercy is what I feel like, because I'm very, very patient with people and I'm very, very forgiving. And the reason why I'm forgiving is because I have a deeper level of understanding and I'm not going to get mad at somebody. You know, being that I am a spiritualist, I'm not going to get mad at my significant other or my husband for flipping out on me. Why? Because more than likely, somebody's sending him some bad negative energy. So when you're able to discern that, you don't have to just sit and walk away from people your whole life. You learn how to stick it out and you learn how to fight and you learn how to work it out. You quit running from your problems. Okay, now it ain't nothing wrong with getting away. I know that, look, I had to move away from family that was oppressing me. That's not the same thing. But when you have an issue in your relationships with people, stop just giving up on. That's a part of that programming too, because you're not going to go and have a perfect relationship with everybody because your life wasn't perfect already to begin with. So this is also a part of your root chakra growth as well. Okay, is to not be afraid to handle your business and to handle your life and to, you know, make sure that you are, you know, walking in that faith. Because I'm the fool right now. I sure am, and I love it. I'm having a new beginning. It's all about that Kundalini awakening and that experience and breaking out of that mode. You know, I remember years ago being bullied by some of the narcissists in my family, and I actually was celibate for 8 years because of that. I was celibate for 8 years, 4 years hardcore, but I was single for 8 years, but I was completely celibate for about 4 or 5 years straight, which was a mistake. That was a sign. You know, whenever you got your ex bullying you and your family members bullying you, talking about, don't nobody want her daddy don't want her mama don't want her, and they going around saying all this. So, well, people that's going around saying that they don't want you, those are the people that want you the most. Okay. You know, the people that are in denial, because why are you here? You just decided to knock on my door today and tell me you didn't want me. Okay. Okay, well, I'm glad you dealt with that. Go ahead on, honey. You know what I'm saying? But that was a mistake for me to do that. That was actually, that actually left me very stagnant for years. So yeah, it was a mistake. Doesn't mean that you have to stay. Like if somebody tells you, well, stay that way for the rest of your life. No, you don't have to do that. You know, a lot of women do that because what? They're raising their children. Okay. A lot of women do that. And it's, you know, especially when they're really young, because I had 3 children back to back, 3 stair steps. Am I going to go back and say, well, shoot, I shouldn't have had those children? No, why would you do that? That shows that your root chakra is dead. Anytime somebody goes and looks at their offspring and says, I shouldn't have had you, you're suicidal, you're off balance, and you need some help. Because anytime you're the fruit of your loins, anytime you get to that point when you become so disparaging towards the fruit of your loins, that shows that your fruit ain't growing and it's dying. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. So if you're going to survive, if you're a survivor and you're a strong-willed person, not only are your children going to survive, but they're going to do well in life, and you're going to have money yourself to take care of them. You're not going to have to go and depend on the system. And most people that depend on that system are not as broken as you think, but they were more so programmed that way. So yeah, they don't want you to live within your power. They want you right where you at so that they can suck and feed energy from you. So that is what we need to heal from. And we need to regenerate ourselves and stop feeding that demon. And the demon is the insecurity and the fear. What makes you go and turn on your camera and start, you know, because I've done it. I've gotten insecure and I've came on here and I've said, you know, mean stuff to people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily out of insecurity, more so out of impatience. But I always like to break stuff down because that's how I break things down. This is why I don't really have like that. Like a lot of people have accused me of having emotional imbalances and stuff. No, I'm just a crier, which is a good thing. That shows when you are able to cry, that shows that you're healing. So that's just like tomorrow I'm gonna be on here live doing some readings. I have people that break down on me all the time. I tell them, let it out. Because a lot of people start crying and instantly they go, I'm sorry. What you apologizing for? That's because somebody told them that it was not right for them to cry. You know, there's a lot of people that were not allowed to cry or to express their feelings or emotions. And that's horrible because then you're internalizing everything. So we're going to have a couple of different group rituals and releases. I do have all of the candles lit from the recent ritual that we did, the new moon in Aquarius. I am going to come back and do a quick candle reading for those of you that participated in that because the candles have been burning since the new moon, and they're sitting on my Aphrodite altar. So I felt like Aphrodite was the deity that I wanted to work with because a lot of you guys are dealing with battling and fighting for your right to love in whatever way or fashion it is. And I don't care if in 2012, you know, you may have said, hey, I want to fight for sexual freedom for myself because, you know, of whatever reason. Sexual freedom is very important. This is one of the things that they have oppressed, and they're still oppressing like you would not believe it. Because when you start to live within your power, then it weakens that system. Because that system wants you to be insecure. It doesn't want you to have financial security. How can you when it's constantly feeding off of you? So the moment I notice somebody feeding off of me, I go into work, and you don't have to get stressed out about it. You have to just protect your energy. Make sure that person don't get nothing out of it. You know, you decide who you give your energy to. Okay. And there are a lot of psychic vampires that are trying to steal energy. Okay. and especially when it comes to sexual energy. So if you guys need to contact me, the link is below. I am setting up appointments and working on my schedule for tomorrow. So I do still have openings for tomorrow. I do have a same day reading option as well. And I've got some stuff that is coming up, like as far as like existing clients. You know, a lot of my people come to me and they're referred to me. Okay, so I'm just letting you guys know that when, I know that a lot of people are not really understanding of that, which is why they're very confused, as to why I'm still here, even though I've had countless people trying to feed off of me and trying to do things. Well, that is because, it's a separate thing. Okay, it's a separate thing. It is when it comes to the people that I am meant to help. So that's something that I don't ever have to feel insecure about. I don't ever have to say, oh, this person said this about me. So I, and the reason why I talk about it and I discuss it is because I don't want you guys to miss the healing that we are doing this year. This includes Kundalini energy, sex abuse energy, trauma energy healing. Okay, we're working on all of that this year. And Archangel Raphael is the one that is, like at the hub of this, because, last year I work with Raphael and Michael all the time. But we have to have more as far as with healing energy. So there's going to be a lot of us that are going to be bringing in healing energy, because we are portals. All of us are portals. Women are portals. Our bodies are sacred. So are men. It's sacred energy. And we should appreciate that. Okay. So if you guys want to reach me, it's my readings are discreet. We don't never do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these people, they not ready. All the people that sleep, they confused and they don't know what's going on right now. So they're scurrying around and they're confused because they're asleep. Right? Okay. And you can't just wake somebody up like that very quickly, because they can go into shock. Okay. So anyway, I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Love and light.